Tron from 1982. Look, this one is rated a little bit higher than the movies we would normally do, but we do say that we look at cult classics, and Tron is a cult classic.
Mm.
And with Tron Ares just having come out in cinemas, this one from 1982 was 71% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Interesting.
Which is quite high for us. I'd like to read you one of the quotes that I read from Nick Shager from Lessons of Darkness. He's one of the top critics on Rotten Tomatoes. He wrote, "Without the rosy filter of nostalgia, it is a virtually unwatchable virtual reality saga."
Yeah, he'd be spot on.
Some movies are so bad, they're still bad, but maybe also brilliant? Join Nathan, Christo, and Big Trev as they dive headfirst into the cinematic dumpster to unearth the worst-rated films of all time. From forgotten flops to cult catastrophes, they bravely ask the question, is it really that bad? Or is it worth another watch?
I remember watching this in my hometown, a place called the Silver City Cinema, when it first came out, and I thought this was going to be the bee's knees. It was like up my alley, sci-fi, really love it, and the graphics look amazing.
So this came out in 1982. Were you like 23 by then, Trev? How old were you then? I wasn't even born when this came out.
You weren't even a thought.
Nah.
I was 7 and I vaguely remember seeing it in the cinema, and I remember absolutely loving this movie as a kid.
Yeah.
I
saw the trailer for the first time and I was like, oh my God, this is going to be fantastic. Look at the graphics. Jeff Bridges, what was he, 30 odd years old when he did this movie?
Probably not even.
I think for the time too, it was like really advanced, really ahead of everything that it was doing. I remember I was talking to my wife the other night when I was watching it, and she said she was obsessed with it when she was a kid because it was like nothing that had ever been done before. So
I was showing my kids it, and they said, "What the hell is this shit?"
Yeah.
That's exactly what my 17-year-old and 14-year-old going, is this the next movie you're watching? I said, yes, and they went, Jesus.
Look, I saw the trailer for Tron Ares, and that looks amazing. Tron Legacy, I really liked. I thought it was a good movie.
Yeah, it wasn't too bad.
I've started
either.
watching Legacy, and visually incredible. Like it's like insanely good how well they've done. And you compare that to this movie, and you think 30 or 43 years ago, technology, that was like one of the heightened points of technology to where we are now. We've come a long way. Let's just say that.
Yeah.
Do you know the movie was actually inspired by the game Pong?
Yeah.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
I had no idea that was the thing.
Yeah.
Is that one where they go, the ball bounces back?
Yeah. That was the height of technology. I remember having that on the Atari 2600 and being blown away by it.
I remember the arcades, like when they saw Flynn's arcade centre. I remember that being exactly what it was, just a hub of energy and excitement, people going back and forth, having a chat. And I also remember playing the actual Tron game.
Oh, really?
Where you got to fight those big tanks that look like hands or traveling along. It was fantastic. You got to sit in a little booth as well and have these joysticks, and it was fantastic.
So the movie.
Let's just talk about arcades.
Yeah. To say it doesn't stand up to the test of time.
Oh, at the start it did. It was actually really good. But then when it got into, I got confused because he gets sucked into so he starts off as a hacker.
Yeah.
Like
Jeff Bridges is Flynn. He owns an arcade game, and he's a hacker that has worked for Encon, which is the big multinational computer company.
And then he got kicked out because all his ideas were stolen by the chief officer in charge.
Yeah.
Dillinger, I think is it Dillinger?
Yep.
Dillinger presents Encom with 5 video games that he's invented. The slime didn't even change the names, man. He gets a big fat promotion. And thus begins his meteoric rise to, what is he now, executive VP?
I struggled to follow the story at all.
Yeah. That was one of my biggest points that I took out of it was the script and the story was really was patchy.
Yes, at best.
Yeah, like it jumped around the characters, and I understand that the in-game character was a version of the real life character,
Yeah.
But it was like, what the hell's going on here? And then the story would move around. And look, yeah, I was confused. We all know that I struggle with sci-fi movies at the best of times. Look, I watched this 3 days ago, and like I've already forgotten the movie.
Yeah. Like I just watched it last night, but the confusing thing about that whole movie was he gets zapped into the game.
Yep.
He gets told that he's one of the programs and asked if he was a user. He said, like, the user was his body outside.
Yeah.
And he goes, no, I'm not. And then all of a sudden he is again. And he ended up being sort of like a chosen one.
Yeah.
And I thought this movie was about Tron, who was a security program that guy made.
Well, that basically sums up how we feel about the movie because none of us had a fucking clue.
Yeah, it was just utter confusion through the whole movie.
I felt like I was missing something with this movie because, like, I mean, obviously, I wrote down, 5 minutes 36, utterly confused.
Yes,
about what's going on.
Yeah,
all I could work out that he was a hacker that's written a program.
What I found confusing is the girl. Was she still in love with Flynn or the other dude?
Yeah, because at the end she kisses Flynn.
And then kisses Tron. But then when they're in the real world, she takes old mate to Flynn's arcade and has these memories of when she used to be there and they used to go out.
Yeah, talk about the actual absolute cuck moment for the partner.
Yes, for sure. He's going back to old boyfriend's house and he's taking his shirt off.
Yeah, Bridges just rips his shirt off.
It was a weird moment in the movie, right? When he did that. I was
God.
like, what the fuck? Why the hell is he taking his shirt off? I get that, he was trying to change shirts or whatever, but it was just like, okay, mate, you've got a six-pack. Let's rip your shirt off.
Well, I thought I downloaded the wrong movie.
Oh, boy. I was doing some research today, and like one of the biggest criticisms from even back then and sort of to now is how weak the script was.
Yeah.
There was no real substance and depth to the characters.
No.
I guess for back in the time, was it more about the visual special effects?
I think it was. I think it was all about that and bringing a new dynamic and a new version of like cinema to all the young people. And it focused on the video games and that video game craze in the 80s and just... But then I looked at it and I went, oh, back in the day, this looked amazing. But and then I looked at it again, and like they just chucked shit together. And I was like, what the fuck is going on here?
While I was watching it, one of my kids piped up with, and I turned around to look at the reactions just to sort of see because, they're young. They have AI. AI could recreate Tron in a heartbeat.
Oh, my God, yes.
And I said, what do you think about this? And they were all looking at their devices. But when I said it, my elder said, this is like Free Guy meets Jumanji meets Wreck-It Ralph.
Yeah, meets The Matrix.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can see how it inspired a whole generation of sci-fi.
Yeah.
Because like they're talking about AI before AI was even really an AI. Like the computer was talking to the guy. That is AI. That's what we've got now.
Yeah.
You shouldn't have come back, Flynn.
Hey, it's the big master control program everybody's been talking about.
You could tell that they were trying to set it up to be, this is revolutionary, we've started something new. And look, to the point where the Oscars disqualified them for special effects because they classified it as cheating. And you think about how far we've come now. Like I think there was something like 25 special effects people at Disney refused to work on the film because they thought it was going to lead to their jobs being lost.
Oh.
So, being disqualified, no special effects, Oscar nomination, which it absolutely would have probably won.
Yeah.
Because it was cheating. And you think about like how far we've come now, that this was probably the pioneer for that. That was probably the start of everything to really come through.
Do you think they were trying to put Tron together to put something up against Star Wars?
Yeah, I think so. And I think, this was made in 1982. Tron Legacy came out 2010, right? So you've had this massive gap. And I think looking at some of the research today was Tron did so poorly at the box office that there was originally a plan to have more films post this, but it was Disney didn't make a live action movie for another 10 years after this.
Oh, really?
That's how that's how badly it went for them. So they decided to basically shelve live action movies for another 10 years.
Oh, Jesus.
The thing that I've found with the last couple of 80s movies that we've watched, they are so slow to get into. Jesus Christ.
And the soundtrack in this was horrendous.
Sound like it was made on... it's made on technology of the time. It was probably state of the art.
Yeah, I read today that they originally were going to have the soundtrack released, but the masters was such poor quality they couldn't release them originally.
Oh, really?
So it kind of explains everything, right?
Did you see they were trying to chase Tron and Flynn when they were on the bikes?
Yeah.
And as they were trying to track him, did you see the little Pac-Man?
Yeah.
No.
It's hilarious.
Well, later on in the movie, when they're going through like the space scene, there's the silhouette of Mickey Mouse.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Yeah.
I didn't see that either.
Oh, the Pac-Man one is hilarious because it's going waka, waka, waka.
I must have fallen asleep.
I think the first time I actually did fall asleep and that part happened, and I noticed it the second time around.
Second time.
So going through the movie, obviously you get sucked into the movie and then something happens and nobody can work out what the hell is going on. And he is trying to find a way to steal his program back out of the computer. Am I right?
Yes. Well, that's what I got from
That's
it.
what I got out of it too, but yeah.
Okay.
And the guy on the outside had a security program called Tron, and that was hidden away too. So Flynn went in to go help Tron, which was a security program to set him loose to sort of act like a virus to shut down, what was the thing called? MCOM? Oh, no, MCP.
The MCP, the Master Control Unit, MCU or something, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't know.
God, we're good. We're good at this one.
Oh,
Master Control Program.
That was it. The MCP. It trying to make it sound like God, and I was like, oh my God, this is just absolute shithousen.
Anybody tuning into this podcast this time around are going to sit there and go, what do these guys actually watch the fucking movie? And it's like...
Yeah, we watch the fucking movie, but when we get fucking bored, we just fucking dribble shit and go through our notes, which are here.
The problem is this movie summed up. It's like, what is going on? Like, we watched it, but it was like, like I said, I only watched this one once. Normally, I watch these things multiple times. This was a one watch, and I think... Because it was only one watch, it's been so forgettable. Like I quickly, before we jumped on, I had it on my phone and I was like scrolling my finger across the timeline. So I watched the whole thing again in about 12 minutes or not even 2 minutes to sort of get an understanding of what was going on.
But some of the shots like of the spaceship were just like, oh my God, come on. I don't need a minute and a half of watching this fucking spaceship cruise along.
And I think that's something we've noticed in most of the films now we've done is, especially the older films, the setup, like Jaws: The Revenge, that first 3-minute opening scene. Superman, there's these long, prolonged scenes of setup of nothing. And then they just sort of quickly put a story together after they've done this huge setup.
Yeah.
It was like an 80s thing.
There's hardly no character building at all. As well.
There was nothing in the movie. There was no character in the movie that I actually felt a connection with.
No.
Like, the name of the movie is Tron, and you would barely know it.
Yeah, it should have been called Flynn.
Yeah, it's absolutely.
Flynn
almost should have been Flynn, yeah. I felt the exact same thing. Not knowing what it was going in, I was like, oh, Jeff Bridges plays a character called Tron. Okay.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah, and it was kind of like, throughout the movie, I was like, oh, there's Tron. Oh, wait, no, that's not Tron at all. Oh, that's Tron. What's this guy's name again? Yeah.
Well, I also didn't understand the ram death scene. Had no idea what was going on with that. It was like all of a sudden he's dead. It's like, weird. He's dead. And I'm like, okay, how did he actually die? What happened?
Well, the tank blew him up and then he got hurt. But that got really weird when he started asking Flynn over, and this got really, really weird. And then another time I thought I downloaded the wrong movie. I had to keep checking, going, whoa, what's going on here?
In a world of rewatch podcasts, this is the Don't Rewatch Podcast. Worth another watch.
There was one particular scene, it was like an hour and 9 minutes in, and it says, it was basically an explanation to help move the plot along a little bit.
If I could just get us on a scanning transport beam. This solar sailor simulation will take us across the game sea, out of this domain, back into the central computer.
There was no flow. There was no continuing. It was just all over the shop. And I just, like I said, I kept getting lost every now and again to find out who was who and didn't care who died. There was also one of the guys that was one of the bad guys, and he all of a sudden died. He was supposed to be Dillinger's right-hand man. Did you see that bit?
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, Tron killed him.
Yeah, just happened.
So they must have run out of budget for him, or he had another gig.
Well, and the other one that I found, one of the other characters, Dumont, when they ran up to him and he was sitting in this little thing, he looked like he had a dick on his head. I actually wrote down Tron and girl running around program and they meet grumpy penis head.
Oh, boy.
But if you had a look, there was pubes on the head. There was like, it would look like, he looked like a dick.
One of those movies that Trevor downloaded again.
Yeah. One of the movies that I wanted to download.
But there was another scene that Tron and Flynn had somehow accidentally flung himself over the side and was holding on for grim death.
How long was he hanging on there for?
I don't know, but it was an incredibly undramatic, what was supposed to be a tense scene. And then Tron gets him and lifts him up, and there's this strange moment where they look like they were going to kiss.
Flynn looked like he was going to kiss everyone. The girl, Tron, Ram, the old guy.
One of the other parts that I remember out of the movie, one of the only parts I remember of the movie,
when it ended,
was Flynn's life advice.
If you are a user, and everything you've done has been according to a plan, right?
You wish. But you guys know what it's like. You just keep doing what it looks like you're supposed to be doing, no matter how crazy it seems.
And that's the way it is for programs, yes.
I hate to disappoint you, pal, but most of the time that's the way it is for users, too.
And I kept checking to see how long it had to go. Yeah. And I know this movie is a cult classic, and I know we'll probably get people leave, 1-star reviews on Apple Podcasts or Spotify going, these guys don't know what the fuck you're talking about. This is a great movie. But it was like...
That's something.
But look, it was not great. It's a very odd movie.
Yeah, that's for me. I'm like, I always look at these and go, what's the good scenes? I thought, for me, a good scene was when Flynn's in the arcade. That whole scene there, that he goes upstairs, minus the shirt taking off.
Yes.
Trevor's confusion about what he's watching. That scene, to me, was really good. It was really strong. Yep. And I thought it had the really good depth. But for me, it was like, who's the main character in this movie? It was like an identity crisis of, is it Flynn? Is it Tron? Is it like who's the main character?
Is it Grumpy Penis Head?
But it was almost like they've created this role. They've gone to Bridges. Okay, you're going to be in this movie, and he's like, "Well, I want to be the star." And it's kind of like, "Oh, we kind of had this movie planned out that this guy was going to be the main star." Then they started filming, and they're like, "Oh, we're going to have to pivot to him and make him the main star." Then it was kind of like this massive identity crisis throughout the whole film of who's the main guy, who's the most important person.
Yeah, it kept going back and forward. Well, like you said before, you didn't know who Tron was. You're thinking Tron will be all about this dude. All I can remember in the trailers or the movie poster was Tron holding the disc.
On the disc,
and lighting up. And I'm going, okay, cool, he's the main character. But then...
And those discs, fun fact, they're actually just real Frisbees they were thrown around.
Oh, really?
Oh,
yeah. They're part of my half-assed internet research. They were real, actual Frisbees.
That's what you should call it, a half-assed.
Half-assed.
And for some reason, I always thought the light cycles played a bigger part in the movie than what they actually did.
And I forgot how bad they were.
Yeah, but I always just thought, when I thought Tron, I think the light cycles, and I think, it's going to be a whole big thing. And it's really not. It's kind of like a 3-minute part of the movie, and then it's never mentioned again. The finale, right toward the end. Did you hear the typewriter sound effect?
No.
There was an electronic typewriter sound effect that they'd added over to make it sound like it was crashing.
Oh, wow. Special effects.
I like how Dillinger got all of the MCP's power and it just made him taller. That was it. He got a Frisbee thrown at him, it hurt him, and then he turned around and then he died.
You can have my power.
Yeah, you can have my power. And he got, I got taller.
Running out of ideas.
Yeah. Well, that's the whole thing, because it went to that. He beats the MCP, and the last scene is him in a helicopter.
Yeah, I wrote down ending. What the fuck?
Yeah.
It all just happened and that was it, done.
Yeah. And then just went to the credits and I was like, "Wait, what happened? Huh?" I thought there was
very
more,
bizarre.
but nothing.
Very bizarre.
Nothing more.
No.
Nothing more, nothing less. He became the guy that wrote all the games and he was in charge. And the other dude, you don't hear about him.
And while exciting, I was starting to wonder, has Nathan made any notes? And when will he share them with us?
Nathan's notes. Nathan's half-assed research.
Yeah, half-assed.
I've actually got a fair few for this because
Yay.
the movie was obviously didn't give me much.
Go for it.
No.
A couple of casting what ifs.
Mm-hmm.
The character of Dillinger, apparently Peter O'Toole wanted to play that
Oh,
character.
wow. Okay.
Yeah, so Lawrence of Arabia. The female lead was originally offered to Deborah Harry of Blondie. Yep.
Oh.
And apparently it just didn't work out. She didn't like the costumes and a few other things. Didn't like that. And then
What costumes?
well, exactly. And then there was some initial conversations about Flint's character to be played by Tom Selleck.
What?
Which I think would have been unreal with his mustache.
Yeah.
That would
Oh,
have been sick.
great.
Yeah. So that's some casting what ifs. And then just some stuff that I found really interesting. So a state-of-the-art computer that was used to make this had 2 megabytes of memory
Oh, my God.
and 330 megabytes of storage. Now, we talk now in like
Okay,
terabytes.
Yes.
Trev, the current iPhone has like 500 gigs of storage.
Oh,
Not your Temu phone, probably
my
wouldn't.
Temu phone
Yeah.
has a notebook.
Yeah.
So like one photo that you take on that is more than 2 megabytes.
Yeah.
That was this computer's whole memory.
What is it? Is that why it's so full all the time?
Yeah, probably.
Is that why my Google Mail doesn't work anymore?
Been downloading too many movies.
Too many movies. Just got to stay away from those actual movies.
Yeah, Edward Penis Hands won't download that
Ask
again.
Ventura.
Ask Ventura.
The Flint Bones.
That's going to be a whole new podcast, that one.
Yeah.
Goodwill Humping.
Yeah. All right. Keep going.
I've sort of touched on them a couple already. Obviously, the special effects snub for the Oscars.
Yeah.
Budget
Yep.
of 17 million. There's rumors
17 million. No.
17 million.
No.
So that's probably the lowest budget one we've done. But there's rumors that Disney just pumped more money into it because they seriously undervalued what that was going to cost them to make. So there's rumors they put potentially another $10 million in, which would make it, $27 million budget. And it only went on to take about 33 million at the box office.
Whoa.
And they released it in, I think, the summer of 82.
Yeah.
And it did so badly that they re-released it again in February 83, and it did even worse.
Oh, great.
Why did they just try to take another stab at it?
And then 84.
Yeah.
And then 85.
And it's been, look, it was like, I think it was re-released in like 2020, 21 with COVID. It's one of those films, and like you said, Christo, what was the Rotten Tomato score?
71.
71.
71, right? So I look back at this movie and go, for the time, groundbreaking. What it was doing, the special effects, the graphics, incredible, right? Wasn't a big box office movie, but I think history shows us that it doesn't have to be a box office smash to be a really good movie. Like Shawshank Redemption, for instance.
Yeah.
We could do that on a podcast because that absolutely tanked at the box office.
Did it?
Absolutely tanked.
Oh, really?
So, yeah, horrific at the box office. So,
I've never seen it.
oh boy. We're supposed to be experts on a
I don't
podcast.
know why. He hasn't seen Star Wars and you haven't seen Shawshank.
Nah, I'm not watching
No.
Star Wars. So I think that movie, like those movies prove that necessarily being a box office flop doesn't necessarily mean the end of your movie.
Yeah.
And I think this is one of those ones that was like, okay, it didn't do anything, but it became a cult classic
Yeah.
based on, one, it's sci-fi, two, it was really ahead of its time, and it kind of pioneered sci-fi going forward with special effects.
Yeah.
The one scene that I did actually like was the red helicopter.
That was
Yes.
badass.
That was cool.
That was cool. And also those little spider things. Did you remember?
That were never seen
No, no.
again.
Yeah.
But they were amazing. I was like, oh, this is going to be good. Nope, you don't see them. That was it. That was the only time you saw them.
Matt Brunson from Film Frenzy wrote, just mute that sound and marvel at the groovy computer imagery. The plot doesn't provide any real reason for the volume to be raised.
No whatsoever. Because you just get confused when they start talking.
Well, I mean, the version on Disney Plus is super crisp.
Yes.
Very nice. The sound has been remastered.
Awesome.
It looks great.
Mhm.
Is it worth another watch?
Nathan?
No, Trevor, you go first.
The first 15 minutes, yes. After that, just turn it off.
Oh, wow. So you don't think this is worth another watch?
No, I don't think it is.
I thought for sure you would, being a sci-fi fan.
No. I'm a big sci-fi fan, but the first 15 minutes I really enjoyed. But then with the characters, there was no building of the characters. You didn't care if anybody lived or died. Tron,
you didn't know whether anybody lived or died because you couldn't work that part of the plot out.
Tron was supposed to be the hero, but it ended up being Flynn. It was just too confusing. Yeah. So no, not worth another watch.
Nathan?
Look, I can see what this movie was trying to do, and I can understand that it became a cult classic because of that. But for me, I hated this movie a lot. I honestly did, and it's well known that I don't do sci-fi movies.
Yes, you've said that.
I really am not a fan, and I really did not like this movie. I have a scale rating of the way I score movies, and on Letterboxd you can rate them out of 5, and I gave it a 2, purely based on the fact of what it meant at the time.
Yep.
But as a movie, it was a big no from me.
Yeah, I'm with Nath.
I'm also a no, by the way. A big fat fucking
Good,
no.
we're waiting for it.
All right, boys. Thank you very much.
Thank you,
Well, boys.
End of line.
Please rewind this cassette before returning it to your video library.